Hello everyone, this is Pranay Sai and welcome to the ratio and proportion lecture. Ratio and proportion. Firstly, let's understand the concept. What does a ratio mean? It gives the relation between two quantities of similar kind. What does the similar kind mean? Both the quantities such as A and B are related only if they are of similar kind. That is, if one quantity is given in rupees, the other should also be in rupees. Then the ratio can be written as A by B or A is to B. Here A is the antecedent and B is the consequent. For example, 4 by 5. Here 4 is the antecedent and 5 is the consequent. Let's say the given ratio is A by B. Then multiplying each term of the ratio by a non-zero number, let's say it as K, or division of each term of the ratio by the same non-zero number, that is A by K or B by K, does not affect the ratio. Now let's understand what does a proportion mean. Proportion is nothing but equality of two ratios. For suppose if A is to B is equal to C is to D, A, B, C, D are in proportion. And this can be written in the following way. For example, 3 is to 27 is equal to 9 is to 81, which is given. As these two are equal, we can say that 3, 27, 9 and 81 are in proportion. Here B and C are known as means and A and D are known as extremes. Similarly, in this example, 27, 9 are known as means and 3 and 81 are known as extremes. So the formula for proportion is product of means is equal to product of extremes. That is, B into C is equal to A into D. Now let's understand what does fourth proportional mean. If A is to B is equal to C is to D, then D is known as the fourth proportional and the value of D can be obtained from this formula, that is D is equal to B into C by A. In order to find the third proportional, if A is to B is equal to B is to C, then C is known as the third proportional and this can be derived from the formula C is equal to B square by A. All these formulae are derived from the standard formula, that is product of means is equal to product of extremes. And finally, mean proportional of AB is given by the formula root AB. Now we shall understand a couple of shortcuts. If A is to B and C is to D are given, then the simplest of ways to find out A is to B is to C will be AC is to BC is to BD. I'll explain a trick to remember this. A is to B is given and C is to D is given. In order to get this formula, first let's multiply A to C and then B to C and then B to D. That is AC is to BC is to BD. In another case, let's say if there are three ratios given, if A is to B, C is to D and E is to F are given, then in order to find A is to B is to C is to D will be ACE is to BCE is to BDE is to BDF. This might be a bit confusing. Let's understand it through a trick. A is to B is given, C is to D is given and E is to F is given. So ACE is the first one and BCE is the second one, BDE is the third one and BDF is the fourth one. Type 1. Comparing ratio questions. Two numbers are in the ratio 1:2. If 7 is added to both, their ratio changes to 3:5. the greatest number is. To solve this, let's understand the given data. It is given that two numbers are in the ratio 1:2. So let's assume the two numbers as x and 2x, as the ratio is given as 1:2 and 7 is added to both the numbers. Therefore, x by 2x and 7 is added to both the numbers. So x plus 7 by 2x plus 7 is what we have achieved. And then he said that after adding 7, the ratio has changed to 3:5. So from that, let's equate this to 3 by 5. So all you need to know is cross multiplying. 5 into x plus 7 is equal to 3 into 2x plus 7. And on solving this, we'll be getting x is equal to 14. This is the value of x. But in the question, he's asking us to find out the greatest number. Out of these two numbers, 2x is a greater number. So on substituting the value of x into x, we'll be getting the greatest number value, that is 28. This is the answer. Now in the second question, it is given as a is to b is equal to 2:3, b is to c is given as 4:5 and c is to d is given as 6:7. He's asking us to find out the value of a is to b is to c is to d. There are a couple of ways to solve these questions. One is by equating the ratios, which is pretty lengthy, but in this question, let's try to keep it as simple as possible. A is to b is to c is to d is what we have to find out. Let's write down the ratios below these. A is to b is given as 2:3 and b is to c is given as 4:5 and c is to d is given as 6:7. In this shortcut trick, we are left with few blank spaces. We have to fill these with the preceding or succeeding terms. Here we have the preceding term, which is 3. So let's write this as 3 and this also as 3. In this case, we have 4 in the succeeding term. So here is 4 and we have 5 here. So this is 5. Similar is 6 and 6 respectively. And what do we do after that? We multiply each and every column. We get 48 here. We get 72, we get 90 and we get 105. Then we have to look out for a number which divides all these numbers. In this case, all these numbers are divisible by 3. So dividing these numbers by 3, we will be getting 16:24:30:35. This is the value of a is to b is to c is to d.